it's just, I mean, initial and we're that's exactly
Started by the team and was operated They breathe out. Welcome. It's a great day to be a Rotarian. Imagine what we can do together. I'm Steve Knoll and your new president for the next year. Our Pledge of Allegiance today is going to be led by Roger Asherman, U.S. Army Colonel, retired.
Good. Join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Roger. And before we sit down, if we pause for a moment while I pray. We give thanks for this food and fellowship. May Rotary friends and Rotary ways help us serve others all of our days. Thank you. And while Roger has just sat down, I'm going to call him back up because he has, or hand him back the mic. He's got a guest to introduce.
The guest today and potential member is someone many of you know, and if you don't know him, you've been to his place. Cameron Reese is the owner of Skinner's Nursery and also past affiliated with Reese's Fruit Farm out by K4 Highway. Good friend of mine, family for a long time. Cameron Reese.
Is this thing on? Okay, good. So announcements, first announcement is cut money in July, the Pine Ridge Prep Preschool for their reading program. Now, I've been in the club a while. I can remember when this cut money program started, they asked us to dig in our pocket and pull out our spare change. Then we kind of got in the habit of putting $1 in, and a few years ago, Grace Morrison asked us to put 5s in. My point is that as Rotarians, we have resources that others don't, and this is just one way we put service above self. There's lots of new things going on with the new year. Much better things than me. But since we're not signing up for meal count, if you are planning to bring 6 guests, if you give Vince a message that you're bringing extra people, that would be helpful. We've been pretty consistent in our food numbers, and so we're trying to eliminate it from being 16 things to do just to get to a Rotary meeting. So if you are bringing extra folks, please let Vince know. Yana asked me if she could speak to us today about a Ukraine update, and I don't see her, so if she comes in later, we'll let her do that. I think Marie has an award to make.
Okay, Steve very graciously helped to move us forward, and one of the things that he did was and I got it 2 weeks ago, a pin for club presidents, for past presidents. So Stan, will you please join me? We will have another one when Joni is here.
So another new innovation that I have experienced when I've been to other Rotary clubs around the country and the world is something they call Fun Bucks or something like that. And I'm going to introduce Fun Bucks to our club. This is an effort to supplement our club budget, which has kind of taken a hit with the move to dues only. We had a pretty good supplement with unused meal money, and we still do get some of that, but not like we did. So if you have a personal message that you'd like to get out, that's a $5 contribution. If you have a message about your organization or a commercial message, that's a $20 donation. And I'll go to the club budget just to keep us going. So I'll start things off today with, and I wish he was here, but Scott Teeter just retired, and he's been my physician for as long as I've been an adult. And I'm delighted that he's reached retirement, and I wish him well in retirement, but I'm very disappointed that he has decided to retire, because now I've got to find a new doctor, and that's not a task that I'm looking forward to. Anybody else? Come on up.
All right, so I've got $5, and our family, right after school got out for our 3 teenage kids, we went to the New England states. So our kids got to experience 6 states they'd never been to, connect with a little bit of history, which was great, +1, and that is New York State. So we spent about 2 weeks doing this. And so I'm excited that this $5 is the cheapest part of our vacation.
My $5 is personal announcement is I won't be here at Rotary next week because I'm driving down to Oklahoma City for my daughter's wedding.
Hey,
Like you, this is the cheapest part of that.
yes.
I've got a commercial announcement. So in goes the $20. I'm happy to say that Topeka Performing Arts Center is collaborating with the Capper Foundation on a very new, not a new concept to Capper, but it's called Concert for a Child. And it is featuring 3 of the best guitarists you'll ever know. And one of them is Andy McKee, who has ties to the Capra Foundation here in town, as well as the two other musicians who are assisting in that. That's August 26th. So please go to our website, go to Capra Foundation. If you have anybody who is interested in musicians, there's going to be a guitar master class that they're giving before the concert. So please go to that. And I want to tell you one other thing, since I got the $20. We've got a wonderful season this year, but I'm so excited that with a new board member, Stacy Williams from Petland, she connected me with twins. These gentlemen are out of Las Vegas. They are male and female celebrity impersonators. That is Sunday, October 30th. For us older crowd, as I call it, I think it's very good because it's old style Las Vegas. But the gentleman, it's Anthony and Edward Edwards. Go to theedwardstwins.com. You'll see our show being listed. But one does a dead-on Celine Dion, Barbara Streisand, Lady Gaga, and literally the voice is them. And then the other one is Billy Joel and Neil Diamond and whatnot. An afternoon of tremendous fun. Best $20 I ever spent. Please.
I'm going to rearrange this so that Steve comes over and stands in front of the camera.
Oh, where are we at? Okay.
You're good.
Well, this is a personal story, but I'm giving 50. It's $5 for every year. Anybody here know Vern Hendricks?
Yes.
Okay, our past district governor. 10 years ago this month, Vern and I were playing racquetball in Manhattan. I clinically died of a heart attack. Vern was there and he did what he could. I was without oxygen for 22 minutes. Ambulance took me to the hospital. They called my wife. This is what happened to Stephen. Get everybody else down here. You're going to make it through the night. Well, I'm still here. God works in miracle ways. And just wanted to share that with you. And since it involved Vern and Rotary and going to a good cause.
Well, shoot, I thought that'd go better than it did. So I don't have any new members or other members in the news that I'm aware of. Anybody else know of members in the news? If you do, please let me know and I'll get it on our program. I want to put something on your calendar. Our next, an upcoming service project is on September 11th for a community-wide Rotary Rubbish Roundup led by our club. At the International Convention, we were encouraged to come home and cooperate with other Rotary and civic clubs in the community. And if you're interested in service projects, Jeanette Weens is our chairperson. Lee Morris and Stan Martindale are going to be running monthly Rotary Rubbish Roundups. So if you're interested in being on a Shunga Trail or the Seward Boat Ramp Roundup, let them know. I encourage you to start with them or start your own. Roger Eshelman, Sally Knoll, and I were Rotary servers at Brew at the Zoo. It was fun. It was frenetic. I was opening can tabs for 3 hours. There was no break, and my fingers are starting to recover. Roger didn't give me the heads up that I needed to bring a tool, but we had a good time, and it was a good way for our club to say thank you to the zoo. So before I introduce myself as today's, Lee, September 11, Sunday. I am working with Keep America Beautiful and the Park Commission, and I'm trying to get everyone on board, and I haven't accomplished that yet, but I'd like to get it on your calendars so that maybe an hour, if you could plan for an hour on that Sunday afternoon, hopefully we'll have a big community event. So again, before I introduce myself as today's speaker, I'd like you to introduce yourself to everyone at your table. Most of us have our new name badges on, and I want you to know we've kept the number of people at each table to 6 in order to promote good conversation while we're here together. And so just say hello to each other for a second. Glenda, thanks for standing up and going around. I'm sorry you ended up by yourself. Table conversation at Rotary every week is a great place to build friendships and receive or give advice. And I want to encourage you all to do that. Isn't that one way to make Rotary just that much more valuable? So I'd also like to address the elephant in the room. Yes, this is that annual event where the president has come back from the international convention and is all fired up about Rotary and stuff. And so I ask you to just take a deep breath, relax, and take your medicine with everybody else in the room. Let's see. So that's me. I've introduced myself, and now I go to my speech. Hopefully I'll be able to find the rest of that. So thank you. I'm truly honored to be your new president. And I and your board look forward to an exciting year coming up. I also thank you for the opportunity to attend the International Convention in beautiful downtown Houston. It was gorgeous. It was something, I treasured it a little more than I might have, luck of the draw, because Stan and Marie didn't get to go. Their conventions were canceled because of COVID. So at least I got to go. Stan, Marie, and Joni have shouldered a difficult task of holding our club together through the pandemic. From no meetings to no more staff, to becoming an all-volunteer organization that frankly, we didn't know how to do everything that just happened before. And so we spent some time and effort to get all that going again. Those leaders and your board have had to reinvent many, many processes to keep us going. They certainly deserve a round of applause for their effort and sacrifice. Imagine where we would be if they hadn't stepped up. So it was my first international convention, but I had the great fortune to spend the evening before it with Larry and Lois Dimmitt. Larry at least has been to 16. I didn't check with Lois. She's been to all 16 with him. And they gave me great insight and orientation to maximize my time and effort. And being a past RI director, Larry is an invaluable resource for us to connect with the larger community of Rotary. And we're already talking about a couple of international projects that we might be involved in. I don't know how many of you were members of the club in 1987, I think it was, when my father was president of the club. Well, so this will be, I'll make this brief. This will be a short trip down memory lane because unlike my father who didn't have a still camera, I do have a still camera on my phone, and I took pictures and then I dropped my phone in Spirit Lake and hadn't backed that up. And so I've lost all those pictures. But my dad went to Munich as the incoming chair. And at that time, it was the norm for the club to come back, the president-elect to come back at this meeting, have a carousel of slides to share. And of course, my dad didn't have any slides or anything to share, but he talked to us and he'd say, now here we are getting on the plane. And he took us through that whole trip, clicking us through the slides that just didn't exist. So I thought it was fun to have that memory. So I don't have any pictures to share with you either. We do have Yana, who is working internationally and has obtained a $25,000 disaster, let me find this, relief grant to aid those families that she's brought to Topeka this year. Imagine if we could help her even more. This war is horrible, and Yana and Grace and Ken, at least I know of, are making a real difference for those Ukrainian families in Topeka. The convention was fun. It was very inspirational. It was a little daunting to be in a room with 11,000 Rotarians, a small Rotary convention, 11,000 Rotarians in the same room from over 200 countries. And I did come home bursting with enthusiasm about Rotary in general and ideas for how we can enjoy Rotary more and make a bigger impact on Topeka. I heard and saw so many ways that Rotary is making a difference all over the world. Did you know that Rotary is in more countries than belong to the United Nations? Rotary membership actually grew last year for the first time in 7 years. Even it grew in Ukraine. Another first is our international president Jennifer Jones is the first female international president for Rotary. And she's great. She would have earned it on her own. She's a very dynamic and fun person. Vince and I got to meet her. She came to the PETS training in Wichita when we were being trained to be presidents. I'm going to let our District Governor Stephanie Meyer talk to you more about Jennifer next week. I want to say thanks to Brendan Wiley and the zoo for hosting us each week. They donate their staff and space, or we couldn't afford to meet here. This club was once over 200 members. Most of us or our companies prepaid our meals, and about half of us showed up. And that put an extra $10,000 to $20,000 in the club budget every year. And that cushion is just gone. Your executive team and board worked hard last year to eliminate over $3,500 of expenses like phone, office rent, in addition to the staff costs that we no longer have. We have a sound budget, but it's bare bones and designed to keep our dues from increasing. I'm excited to announce that we will undertake a major fundraising effort this year to fund an electronic message sign for the zoo at 6th and Gage. That offer is being made with the bottom of the sign saying Rotary meets here. So I'm working with Brendan and his staff on getting some numbers together, and we'll talk more about that as the year progresses. I talked a little bit about it before, but imagine Rotarians leading this trash pickup regularly along the Shunga Trail and getting family and friends to join us in keeping our community clean. We have ordered volunteer vests, so we'll be noticed in the community when we're out there doing this. They haven't arrived yet. New year, new money, and I just got those ordered, so I'm looking forward to that. I encourage you all to join Roger in volunteering at zoo events. It's very easy. The zoo staff is fabulous in getting you in the right place and doing the right thing. I'll get back to you on plans for that 9/11 big trash pickup as we get that put together. Imagine the impact our club and service projects if we could all get all of our members back to join us at this beautiful place. Imagine Rotary, if you could call an old friend and ask them to come to Rotary with you. Imagine Rotary being so much fun that we have to have a waiting list to get in. I challenge every Rotarian here and out there in YouTube land to imagine what we can get done together if we just take charge of one single piece that we're going to be in charge of and join it with the whole. There's an Every Rotarian card on your table, and I would encourage you to take one and put it in your wallet. I would challenge you to choose to mentor a member or a student or anyone that needs your advice. Choose to be a servant in our community, helping those that didn't start with the same opportunities that we take for granted. Choose to help our club and members feel good about being Rotarian. Choose to grow our impact through the Topeka Rotary Foundation and the Rotary Foundation with a $100 gift every year. I asked John Wall to just add $25 for each to my quarterly invoice, and that makes that very easy. That total is just where I need it to tell my bookkeeper how much to write the check. There's a lot to do, but there's also a lot of us. And imagine what we can do if we just decide to do it. Membership is something that we really need to talk about. And let's don't talk about how many new members we have or need, but let's talk about why it's important for each of us to share Rotary with others. Is Rotary valuable to you? Why? Is it because some member took you under their wing and helped you or your career when you joined? Is there somebody that might get that benefit from you and find real value in their Rotary membership? Are you like me and have friends because you belong to Rotary and see them every Thursday, and you wouldn't have those friends if it weren't for Rotary? The majority of our newest members joined in part to serve our community, to give back in some way. Doesn't that sound like Rotary value to you? Do you think that if we attracted members that didn't look exactly like us or come from the same experience as ours, that we might learn from them? If we had a stronger presence and interaction with our Interact Club at Highland Park, don't you think there's things that we could learn from them about making Topeka a better place to live? So if each of us invited someone to join us at lunch or on a service project, we'd start to get the word out further. And we'd get the word out, something that we already know. Rotary is very cool. Rotary does great things in Topeka, in Kansas, and in the world. We have a strategic plan. It's up on the Club Runner page. Looks like this. We have our goals set for the year that the board has adopted both of those. But let me know, or any board member know, if there's an idea you have to make this more fun. We want to make it easy to find out what's going on, what's coming up, and how to contribute. A second goal is about attracting quality people that make them feel welcome, informed, and involved. Goal 3 is to increase the impact that we have on Topeka through our service. Most of our new members told us that community service is a big part of why they joined. I'm introducing Fund Bucks as an opportunity to help replace the revenue we've lost with the unused prepaid meal money. And that went so much better than I thought it was going to go, so I won't have to re-explain it. Now, let me ask you, what do you see our club doing in this coming year? We're going to have service projects, and unfortunately, Jeanette Williams, who's our community service chair, is not here to talk about that, but I can tell you we're going to have Rotary Rubbish Roundups. We're going to do Covered in Coats. Wayne is going to get us down the road towards a career fair. We're going to have more and more zoo volunteers. We've got a lot of things going, a lot of irons in the fire. Allison Marker is out of town today. She's our social chairwoman. And we're already talking about what we can do. We'll continue to have fifth Thursday socials instead of meetings, but we're going to have fun at meetings. I would like to see us. I've had several of you old timers ask about having fireside chats in Rotarians' homes, things like that. We want Rotary to be fun. And of course, we'll continue to have wine gatherings. And if I have my way, I'm going to coach Colleen up and we're going to have a beer gathering too. Thanks to Deborah Ricks for holding down the treasurer's job this last year, for Lee Morris and Shelley Woodward for their service on our board, to Stan for helping with handling catering this last year, and speaker books, and the backup for the check-in table as he's there again today. And a big round of applause for Marie Pico for our outstanding immediate past president. We meet in this terrific space, but Rotary itself is a pretty unique and special place where people that are different come together, learn and talk, and just get to know each other. And that's how we break down barriers. Imagine if everyone believed in the four-way test and service above self. It would be a better world. Let's be a club where all are welcome. I joined this Rotary Club in 1981. We were a little over 200 strong, all local business CEOs and community leaders, except for young guys like me. No women, very few men of color, though I will tell you it was a real treat to sit with Merrill Ross at lunch. And I didn't even know he was a Tuskegee Airman at the time. I wish I had. I would have enjoyed hearing about that. It was a decidedly conservative crowd. And our club is dramatically different from that today, dramatically different. And I think that's a good thing. I also think we can get better. We can still grow Rotary in our club and in our community. Rotary is very cool. And this year, I promise that we're going to have fun together and imagine Rotary in many new ways. Thank you very much. I'll take any questions as long as I can answer them. Excellent. No, it's not my dad's clicker. I looked for it. I'm sure it exists at my house somewhere. This is actually Dick and Judy's dog training clicker. I couldn't find mine, so I cut that out of my speech. And then I stopped by the cruise office on the way in today, and Dick found it for me, so I added that back. That was all extemporaneous. Larry?
What was your most enjoyable experience in Houston? We had to leave a little early. So.
Well, you're not going to like this answer, but the best experience I had in Houston was going to dinner with Larry and Lois. You cannot go anywhere at a Rotary convention with Larry and expect to get to your table to have dinner on time, because he maybe 3 tables was the maximum we got by before someone else stood up and said, "Hi, Larry, I got to tell you about this. I got to tell you about that." So that was a highlight for me, Larry. It really was. Our new Jennifer Jones is a dynamic, thoughtful, and inspiring leader, and she has plans to travel the world and show off what Rotary is doing all over the world, and it's going to be an interesting and great year. I love her theme for the year, Imagine Rotary, because it just opens up the world for just imagine what Rotary can be. So those were walking into a room with 11,000 people and by yourself, because no one else from our club that was just a nobody was there, and trying to find a seat in the middle of all that was wild, but it was a great convention. Linda?
You mentioned during our board meeting, you might have spoken to this, something about the meetings and doing something a little different. Can you speak to that?
We're gonna, Vince and I at Wichita months ago, in one of our sessions, learned that Rotary clubs are required, I'm not sure that's the right word anymore, encouraged to have assembly meetings once a quarter. Neither Vince nor I had ever heard of an assembly meeting. Now, I think our club has had meetings that could be characterized as assembly meetings. We have an assembly meeting coming up on August 11th, where if you don't have your username and password to get into Club Runner, we're gonna have help desks. Marie's gonna do one where we can get you signed up and into Club Runner and to Rotary.org. We're going to work towards, we don't have any of them planned at this point, but we'd like to do, instead of just a speaker, have a pop-up community service project.
Service project or something that we can get involved in.
Right. And we're going to have, I believe we're going to have some meetings where we just have fun. And there is some fun planned for that club assembly meeting. And we're working out our new meal plan with 2 chefs. And I've asked Vince to make sure that the meal is extra good that day. I don't know, you guys hired me and you're gonna get what you get, so I'm going forward on the notion that this club hasn't impeached the president yet. Thank you. I have signed a book for Ross Elementary. Again, I don't know if you all know, but Merrill Ross was a member of our club, and Ross Elementary is named after Ross and his wife, whose name I can't think, Barbara. And they are an enthusiastic recipient of the books that we send. And next time we deliver books, I'll invite anyone that wants to go, because we can do that now. Next week's program is our district governor, Stephanie Meyer. She is also someone that is dynamic and fun. Vern got ice cream, whatever, and I think Stephanie, I'm gonna have to remember this. I just remembered that Stephanie is a wine drinker, so I'm gonna try to remember to bring her some wine to drink. If you didn't sign up on your way in, again, without pre-meal signups, we want to make sure we get you counted for your attendance. So sign in on your way out, sign out on your way out. With that, let's stand and say the 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. Oh, you can leave your badges. Just take them apart and put them back. Thank you, Steve. Thank you.